and inspired about what you can do to harness the power of technology. I think that ordinarily, when you think about technology, what you think or the mental picture that comes to mind is a man at a computer or a man working out some complex issue. But what it really is for many of the women on this panel is probably a mother that is breastfeeding while working on her computer. And those are the mental images that we want to multiply in your heads this afternoon. I'm joined by a panel of distinguished ladies this afternoon, picked very intentionally so that we can balance both the technical world and the professional world. Because we don't want you to feel that, technology is not my thing. No, we want to bring you people who are leveraging technology, but also those who are working in technology. So leading our panel this afternoon, we have Miss Mabel Chisaka, right down there. Mabel is an advocate and the managing partner of Mesa Advocates. But Mabel is also a trade integration expert. And in that capacity, she serves as the chairperson of the Trade and Regional Integration Committee of the East Africa Law Society. Welcome, Mabel. Say hello to our audience.
Thank you, Alinda, for having me, and thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I'm very excited to dig deep in this conversation. Thank you.
Right next to Mabel, we have Miss Sandra Angwech and Acheng. And Sandra is a social worker. You know, lawyers, you like to have conversation between yourselves, but you actually benefit a lot from opening up to other professions. So this panel has co-opted Miss Sandra's because she is the executive director of Women of Uganda Network, which is an NGO of organizations working to enhance the use of technology and equip women and young ladies in how they can use technology tools. Welcome, Sandra.
Thank you, Linda, for having me on the panel, and greetings to those who have joined us, and very much looking forward to this. Thank you.
Now, going back to that balance, we now spice it up with Miss Zubeda Namugenyi. She's an advocate, she's an ADR practitioner, and she is the Chief Executive Officer of Muslim Arbitration and Mediation Center. If you are on any of the social media platforms, you have seen the powerhouse of branding and internet marketing that Zubeda is. She's very passionate about writing and particularly using online platforms to position yourself to live your full purpose. And we're excited to have you here, Zubeda.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm ready to dive into the conversation.
Okay, so last and in no way least, because she's also the youth on this table. She is the future on this panel. We have Miss Yasmin Ahmed. She's a lawyer and she's a digital rights advocate, and she is a founder of Femtech Law Initiative. Femtech Law Initiative advocates for a safer space for minors and women online. You know, in as much as the physical world is not safe or is a lot more harmful or dangerous for women, it doesn't get any better online. And Yasmin is going to be talking to us about what they are doing in that space to make it safer for women and young children.
Thank you, Linda, for that introduction. Thank you for everybody who is attending. And welcome to this conversation.
Okay, so we are going to start with actually you, Yasmin. I want our audience to get to know all of you better. Why technology? What inspired all of you to be active and passionate about technology? In 30 seconds, I just want to hear from all of you.
For me, it's the fact that most legal practitioners don't see tech as a place or a space in which they belong. So there was always that gap. And I believe that if you see a gap, fill it. You don't have to wait for other people to fill it for you. So for me, it was seeing a gap where law intersects with technology and deciding to step into it.
What about you, Zubeda?
Mine was basically about embracing all the nuances that make up me. I am a Muslim, I'm a woman, I'm a lawyer, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I am like all those things that work with me and just make me that different person. And for most of these roles that are boxed, you can only do so much, like the flexibility is not there. So once you dive into tech and leverage it, you can actually go anywhere. You could be a lawyer today, you could be an advocate tomorrow, advocating for social justice, you could be anything.
Wow. The endless possibility that technology brings to our value and our human potential. Sandra, what about you?
I will start by saying that I see what really inspired me is that, first of all, I see tech as an enabler, as a tool, as a platform, especially for women, to be able to access legal aid, to be able to access opportunities, to be able to access services at the comfort of themselves. So when I see, what really inspired me is seeing women being able to hold those spaces, to be able to use technology to access those, and also to be able to see that tech is free, tech is open, tech is safe, tech is secure, especially for women and girls. Thank you.
Okay. Mabel?
Being at the intersection of tech and trade law, I have seen how innovation drives economic development. We cannot talk about regional trade, we cannot talk about integration, we cannot talk about international trade without talking about technology. Why? Because you're dealing with businesses, you're dealing with institutions you are not seeing physically. So in trade, in business, and in international trade in particular, trade is not a guest artist. It is the main stage.
Okay. Now you know why we are passionate about this conversation. So I want to start with you, Yasmin. How have you seen women's roles evolve in technology as someone that works directly with in that sphere?
Well, as a person who works at the intersection of law, technology, and social justice, we have seen women evolve.
Can you just make sure that... Yes.
Can you hear me now? We can see that women have evolved over time. Their roles mostly from end users, because this is what women mostly were or women are, to innovators, to tech creators, to startup founders, and even just the mere fact that most informal businesses now can go online, even the market lady can now go online and sell her produce. I feel that this is now an advancement and it should be celebrated, but obviously we always have to take note of the challenges and the issues that come up with that, especially in the legal field, because when the challenges arise, the first place you're going to run to is the legal, fraternity, like how can they help you and how can we help them, and so on and so forth, and how can we benefit from this. So at the end of the day, women have had, my idea or my opinion on this is that women have a lot they can earn, a lot they can grow from when it comes to tech, because we can diversify ourselves, we can improve ourselves, we can have wider job markets because of technology, because of online markets, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Maybe that's a place you can pick up from Zubeda. How does that actually happen, or what kind of mindset should a professional have in order to take advantage of all these possibilities?
Based on the technologies I'm leveraging, I use a lot of the professional social media platforms to kind of like blow up my message. Basically, I use these platforms as a spotlight. Like I use my platform as a spotlight. So I care about writing, and you will see I write. I have been writing since September every single day.
Wow.
And the results are evident. With the breakage of geographical barriers, where you can be in Uganda, Kampala, and speak to someone in the UK, and speak to someone in Turkey, and speak to someone in Nigeria. There is no reason as to why you should limit your opportunities to what you are like what is within your geographical reach. If you want to get a job in UK, you can still stay in Uganda and get a job there. Yes?
Yeah.
So basically for me, I just look at it as something that is going to enable women be mothers, because you can be pregnant and at home, but you're working. So I think the possibilities with technology are just beyond, they are endless.
Yeah. Mabel, can you give us the trade angle of those possibilities?
So with the growth of international trade and regional trade, we have the ESC, we have COMESA, we have the African Continental Free Trade Area. And with this growth has led to growth of digital tools that most lawyers are not aware of. I'm going to give you examples. We have the ATEX. The ATEX is the B2B platform for all intra-African trade. And as a lawyer, how do you place yourself to support a client transact on ATEX? This is a transaction you can advise and do without necessarily being with the client. How do you structure that transaction? What is the dispute resolution mechanism under that transaction? We have the Trade Observatory that has been created to aid transactions in, within the African region. The Trade Observatory basically does for you your market research, your market analysis. As a coffee producer, you're able to advise your client, who is a coffee producer, where the market is. It does all the research for you. And as a lawyer, how do you advise your client to look at the right markets, to source raw materials from the right supplier? We have an example. I can give you an example so that you sort of understand the role of lawyers in helping clients digitally. We have what we call the e-window, ESC single window customs, where all documentation is done online. Uganda recently entered into a memorandum with Algeria. And in this memorandum, we could send our milk products to Algeria at reduced tariffs. However, we got, there is a company in Uganda that sent their consignment to Algeria, and they got a non-preferential certificate of origin. They didn't know that you can get the African Continental Free Trade Area certificate of origin online, a preferential one, with the customs. And with that, they were able to miss out on the opportunity that comes with that kind of transaction. They still had to pay taxes because they didn't follow the law. And that is why we as lawyers need to come in to understand these processes so that we can advise our clients to be able to benefit from the advantage of the free trade area, which essentially leads to low tariffs and or reduced tariffs or no tariffs at all.
Wow. Thank you very much, Mabel, for that angle. I want to take it to the rural woman. Sandra, you know, many of us represent women that are in marketplaces, in rural areas, and for many of them, technology feels like it's not for them. It's for maybe their sons or their husbands. How do we include these women so that they can tap into the opportunities Mabel and Yasmin and Zubeda have been talking about?
Thank you for the question. I think I'm too tall for this mic. Yes, so thank you for the question, Linda. Just answering your question on how can technology really can be for a rural woman, let's say in Karamoja or in and maybe northern Uganda or what I would want to start by saying is that technology is really can be powerful, can be a powerful tool, especially for women in the marginalized and the rural communities, to be able to bridge the gap in terms of access to information, to be able to access opportunities, to be able to access education. And I will speak more to access to information and also education. For example, as Women of Uganda Network, we started sort of an hub that is based in northern Uganda. It's called Kubere Information Center. So this in Kubere means connect in Lango, and it started as access to information in terms of agriculture, but this has evolved with support from different partners, where we are able to set up what we call a broadband connectivity, or what we call, some people call it community network. And what is very unique is this is a feminist-led community network, where we have committees that discuss issues of what gender digital divide women face in their communities. And with that, we have been able to set I don't like to call it free Wi-Fi because it's paid for actually. We sat in the night and we're able to come up with beautiful ideas to be able to get funding. So these are prepaid Wi-Fi that women and girls are able to access, and we've put it in different areas, to schools. We have been able to put it in marketplaces. We have been able to put it in the government hospital in Apache district, and we have also been able to put it in government institutions.
Have you been able to put it in court?
No.
Why?
That is why we are trying to extend this to different places. So we have put this, for us, we look at technology not just because when people talk about meaningful connectivity, sometimes a meaningful connectivity for a woman in the rural area is really to be able to laugh, you know, after a long day, after work, or after selling the produce or businesses. So this has really been a very important aspect for women to be able to access this internet, but also not just use it for marketing their goods, but also access information on sexual reproductive health, access information on legal aid, because we have also connected this with a toll-free line that we have, that we established, and also a gender-based violence portal that women are able to not just women, because again, I want to say that we target 30% of men and 70% of women in all our interventions, for them to be able to access all kinds of information. And this is not only information that is maybe economic or social, but also legal information. And we've worked with partners such as FIDA to be able to see how do we use the portal for women to be able to, maybe they're violated, they're abused, they can be able to report these cases, and we can be able to link them to get the legal services that they need. Just this week, there was a refugee person from Sudan who just reached out, and they were they stay in Kampala, and because someone was surveilling them, and they thought there's some group that they talked about, I think like spy or something. So they were arrested, and because they're also refugees in these cases, they shared this case, and they were able to share how they were arrested, and they were asked to pay 2,000 USD, which is very much a lot of money for a refugee that is based in Uganda. So these are some of the issues that we look at for women to be able to get justice, not just information. Thank you.
Okay. So we had only 30 minutes for this conversation, and we want to think about a way to engage you, our audience. I don't know if you have any particular questions that you could give our panelists as we do this next round of questions. If you could just think about how we can answer the particular questions you had in mind. As you do that, I wanted to turn to Zubeda and ask you, what advice would you have for young women who are aspiring to leverage technology to transform their careers, like we've vividly seen it transform yours?
When I had just started learning about personal branding, the person who was instructing me told me to Google myself. And it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. It had work that I had done with the Justice, Law and Order Sector Integrity Committee, and that was about 2015. And then it had my thesis that I did at Masters, but that was pretty much all. Now, The question is, and the challenge I would like to put to all of us in here, you all want opportunities, both domestic and global, right?
Yeah.
You need to Google yourself and ask yourself a question. Would I give myself the opportunity? Like with what you're seeing, would I be able to compete with someone whose work has clarity, who has really defined what they're about, how they are impacting what they're already doing? Because no one is going to try to fund a dream. It's very important for you to showcase what you're doing. And don't wait for you to do big projects. You have attended the Tech Fest today. It can be your starting point. Write about it. What have you learned? There's someone out there who has an opportunity that can actually impact your life just from one single post. And I would like to, many lawyers, we are supposed to be writers. I'm big on writing, so it keeps on coming out. I am big on writing, and I would love, love, love to teach lawyers how to write. Because many of us have ideas, but we are so scared to put them out there because of the fear of judgment. But I guess if we were able to perfect that skill or improve it, because it takes time, you will be able to share your idea. And it doesn't have to be clever stuff. Like, don't wait to write about a case and argue matters, because most of the people you're writing for online are not even lawyers. Yeah? Some of the people who are going to give you opportunities are not even lawyers. I would also like to use this example. A few months ago, I think like 6 months ago, I was on LinkedIn, and I randomly saw someone who was doing human rights, some Islamic human rights. And I just sent him a DM. I said, hi, I see you're doing work that is kind of similar to mine. I hope we can learn from each other. So he wrote back. It was just a gamble of like, what's the point? If he doesn't respond, it doesn't matter. He wrote back and said, hey, which country are you from? I said, Uganda. I said, I actually have friends in Uganda. And I feel like Uganda is calling me. So he opened anyway. Fast forward, he opened up networks, and he got us a collaboration between our organization, Muslim Arbitration and Mediation Center, and the Organization of Islamic Conference Arbitration Center.
Wow.
So if you are thinking you're going to get the opportunities you want by just sitting here and being talented, but no one knows about your talent, you have it all wrong. But the starting point is Google yourself. If you don't like what you see, the opportunity bearer doesn't like it as well.
Yeah. Can I hear from you, Mabel? How do women position themselves for those opportunities, for those trade opportunities?
In addition to what Zubeda has said, continuous training. There are some aspects of technology and the law, especially, because I know for most of us, and maybe majority of us, we didn't study most of these things in university, and the tech law keeps advancing at very fast rates. Personally, I have done a lot of continuous education and training, and this can easily be done online. We can use the online platform to polish our knowledge in the area of regional and international trade. There are very many free courses on the new technology and the new tools that are currently being used in the different regional economic communities. And you can look these up. I think when you check out Afrexim Bank is the one advertising most of these free courses. So continuous education is one. Number two, as an individual, like she said, you need to market yourself. You need to market what you do online. You need to put your business online. Most of us, we don't market our businesses online. I know I know the Act does not allow us to market, but we can talk about what we do online, like she shared. So, yeah, I feel like the area keeps shifting, tech keeps shifting, and we need to shift with it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Mebo. We're starting to wrap it up. Did we get any questions from you, our audience? Okay, nice. All right. Yes, we can start with the gentleman at the back. We must honor the men who have chosen the female panel, and then we will come to you, Mary, as the next. Let's get you the microphone so that the people online can also follow.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, ladies, distinguished ladies, for this wonderful discussion. My name is Gaudias Turiasingura, and I work with Legal Aid Project of ULS. And from the discussions that we have had, from the fact that most of our clients are actually women. So I was trying to think through on the relationship between technology and vulnerable groups, and specifically women. And I did a very quick search on internet, and I found that, for example, in Karamoja, where some of our projects are implemented, only 20% own phones, not smartphones. They own phones, not smartphones. So meaning if you did a search on how many actually own smartphones, because it is actually smartphone that can enable you to leverage slightly around technology, I'm sure it would go very, very low. The literacy levels in an area like Karamoja is below 27. This is as per the census of 2024. So my question is, apart from education, how can we be able to think effectively for the most vulnerable groups of people? Probably the women that are very far, because when you look at technology, it also comes with economics. For someone to buy internet, they have to be doing well in terms of finances. But we have those people that are still at the extreme, but we need to bring them, because at times when we are discussing technology and we are looking at those that already have the technological tools and how to use them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Gority?
Thank you so much. We are grateful for the knowledge so far shared. I'm Mary Gority Nakamia. I'm also into legal tech. And I do validwills.net. And my question is, I think it's a bit similar to his. The panelists, most of them are saying, market yourself online. It is okay, at least I've picked that point. The issue is there are people who do not even have this. There's this other target market that we need, but they do not actually have the phones. And personally, you in this person who has this innovative idea, you do not even have the financial capacity to reach out to these people. In your ideas and in your thinking, what do you think someone should do out there? Like, you've been in this, so what are those ideas that you have that you've tried to think out of the box to try to reach your other target market in order to penetrate, so that what you do is actually useful? Because you can have very great ideas, very talented. This is going to solve something in the society. You've seen the gap. But how do we penetrate to the people, to our target market? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Maria. Can we take one last question, or do we handle those two? Okay, the last question.
Thank you, dear panelists. My name is Ferdinand Tumhaise, Senior Associate, Kapara Associated Advocates. So mine is most of a question, but also inspiring some kind of thinking. With the kind of gender dynamics that we have, the challenges that women really face, which are actually unique to them. I remember, as Beda was saying, the benefits of technology are enormous. There are so many. I'm thinking, have they tried to look into these gender issues of women? Is technology trying to solve some of them? But that aside, coming back to us as lawyers, is how are we thinking or how are we using technology to address the access to justice issues that particularly face women? You agree with me that most times issues that affect women, when even they are like at police, they have one word, some words, there is no evidence. How can technology be used to help women actually have real-time evidence when they're trying to report issues that concern them, like issues of that relate to sexual assaults, or sexual offenses, gender-based violence, domestic violence? Those are some of the issues. So then I'm wondering whether you have figured out, because sometimes we talk technology, but when it comes to women, how can it be done? Do we need to, the Law Society, good enough, the Vice President is here. Do we need a special app for women to track how they can address these issues? So I was just thinking out of the box, how technology can come in to solve issues that particularly affect women. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Our 30 minutes that were given are fast running out, so I'm going to throw these questions to you ladies. And Yasmin, maybe you can start where Ferdinand ended. How is technology being used to address those gender inequalities and access to justice issues?
Okay, so Femtech was created because of these issues, okay? So we founded Femtech because of the gap between law and technology and social justice. The issues were, for example, when you talk gender-based violence, there is online gender-based violence. There is, you understand, there is people posting about violence that's happening at home. There's violence that starts online and then moves on to the physical, context. So the question was, all of this is happening, what are we doing about it? The problem was, you have different stakeholders and all of them have different ideas on what needs to be done or how they understand these issues. Okay, you have the police who are not trained to understand some of these issues. You have the judiciary who may understand the legal concept but do not understand the social impact. And then you have like the NGOs that understand everything but have no connection to the other two stakeholders. So these were issues that are ongoing, and we decided, oh yes, so we can step in. So one of the things that we have done or that we continue to do is, one, there is a need to educate everybody. Put everyone on the same page. You cannot have justices who do not understand the social impact, and you cannot have police that do not understand the crimes that they're putting down. Because the issues we have found is that someone will have a crime, an issue, gender-based violence, whether it's online or whatever, or whether it started online and moved to the physical realm. And when they go to report it to the police are like, but you can just talk to this person, or it's online, can't you block them? You understand? Yet this is a really pervasive issue. Whether it is legal issues that are happening in across different jurisdictions and so on and so forth, there was a need to harmonize a lot of these things, to understand these things. So the first thing that we had to do, or that we are doing, is enabling that people understand, especially legal professionals, which is of course why we're here, making sure legal professionals understand the impact technology has on the legal issues that they're handling and also the people that they're dealing with. And besides that, there's also the policy issues, the regulations, and so on and so forth. How are they affected by the technology? Now you have things like AI that are not truly governable. Okay, not governable, but they're not governed. Okay, what happens if your client brings you a client based on generative AI and there is no law to handle it? You can see the crime, you can see that there's something wrong, but there is no legal regulation to it. So what are you going to do as a lawyer? So these were things that we are definitely handling, especially talk on AI policy and so on and so forth. So whilst the legal profession tends to be kind of very physical because everyone's always thinking about going to court, I feel like tech and digital spaces have revolutionized this, and they're enabling us to see the world for more than what we thought it was. And we need to adjust ourselves, to diversify ourselves, to be able to not only benefit, but to also have the impact that we choose to have. Because you cannot have, you cannot be a lawyer and you cannot. Do you know how embarrassing it is for your client to come with a case and you're like, no, I can't, I don't know what to do for you.
As lawyers, we never do that.
Yes, exactly. So as lawyers, we were told we can never say we don't know. So do not put yourself in a position where you do not know. So yeah, thank you.
Okay. Can we have, I think that all the other questions were a little bit still on that issue. How can technology solve those? Because Yasmin is talking about how to make technology accessible for women. But what about a situation where the women on the last mile are not being reached in the first place? I think what Goretti and even Gaudias was talking about, how do we bring the internet or technology to that woman at the last mile? Sandra, anything specifically you're doing? I know you talked to us already about providing internet, but if you provide internet in a marketplace when I don't have a phone that can access the internet, then I'm pretty much still left out.
Yeah, and that's why it's very important that we do not give these gadgets for free to the community, but see how do we really empower the women in the rural areas to be able to actually afford internet data, like he said, to be able to afford the device, the smartphone. And that's why we have been working also with women's farmers groups, specifically in Apache district, and we have been able to train them on how to not just focus on from farm to mouth, but see how do you maximize what you are doing to practice sustainable agriculture, to be able to actually buy data, to be able to actually afford food when you can access data. So we did not just train them on how to do farming in a meaningful way, but also organize simple savings schemes among them to be able to support themselves, to raise money between themselves, and also use this money to also advance their work.
Okay.
And that's why we also were able to put this community network in specific farmers groups and these farmers group are also women-led, but there are others that as a mix of both the women and the youth, because of the aspect that we know that youth are able to use technology more, and they can empower these women to access and use technology better. Thank you.
I want to come to you, Mabel. What are your thoughts about how women can be made to access these opportunities?
Yes, thank you. And thank you very much for the questions, because they raise such a big concern. And Uganda, as a country, we have advanced greatly when it comes to e-government. We are actually among the top 3 in Africa. In Uganda, you can register a business online, you can do your URA online, you can do your trademark online, you can do everything online. But then the most shocking thing is we have over 89% of informality. Majority of our population does not have smartphones, does not have the internet, and yet we have chosen as a country to operate to go online. And this goes down to the common person. How do we create a balance? I was giving a best practice of Germany, for example. In Germany, they realized that they have a highest number of their population is 55 and above. And with this realization, they changed the way they operate to allow for e-government, but then also allow the old people to be able to submit documents physically, to be able to call in, to ask for help. So this gets me to toll-free lines. Because from what you shared, this woman in the village does not have a smartphone, but has a capability. Can they call in? Can they get this support through calling in with their capability? How do we, there is a time I conducted a trade legal clinic in Iganga, and I met rural women who were successfully running businesses in Iganga, and they were never registered with URSB. I remember I supported these women register with URSB. After I helped them register with URSB, they needed, I think, to certify documents, and they called me, Katugendewa tukolechi. They couldn't certify documents because they don't have smartphones or computers to do that application. And that highlights the role of lawyers to bridge this gap. And I really hope that as lawyers we can adopt a development angle in our practice where we support businesses, women, and all the vulnerable groups to be able to engage with this e-government that the government has started, because we know majority of the people are left out. And we can be the driver to ensure that these people that are left out, the marginalized, the poor people, are part of the formality that is happening.
Okay.
So yeah, I feel there's much more we can do as lawyers, because indeed they have been left out.
Okay. As we wind up, Zubeda. But this time dispute resolution, because I think those are some of the issues that the audience was highlighting.
With the work I do with the Muslim Arbitration and Mediation Center, there's a realization, a deep realization that many of the people we are supposed to serve do not benefit from our services because somehow the system left them out. I do not feel like access to technology or the lack thereof should be a determinant as to whether someone gets justice or not. Many of the people that come to us do not understand. So you're talking about alternative dispute resolution, but they don't even understand the main one, which is litigation that we've been doing. So you're saying alternative, but they don't even understand the first one.
The main one.
Yeah, so we have actually resorted to doing a lot of outreach and teaching them in Luganda their local languages. And that of course we are trying to get more people on board, because it's not, of course Luganda covers more area, but we need to kind of like customize, like if we're going to get access to justice, it should be in a language I trade in.
Yes.
If I trade in Luganda, I should be able to access justice in Luganda. If I trade in Acholi, I should be able to get justice that that speaks to my nuances. So really, I feel like whereas you're looking at internet and smartphones, even you typing, translating laws and whatever solutions we have into these local languages can be a way of leveraging technology to actually bring access to justice to our people. Thank you.
Wow. This is all we had the time for. But the conversation doesn't have to end here. I think that our eyes are being opened to all the other invisible barriers that prevent women from interacting with technology. And as we close this conversation, I don't know what message each of you can give our ladies, 30 seconds, and our audience on just the takeaway from this discussion. One last word. We can start with you, Mabel, and then come all the way up.
My one last word would be for all of us to embrace technology for the good. And I know we are surrounded, or we live in communities where people have not embraced technology. Let us be the light for those people. Let's get them on board and support them. And also, as we deal with our clients, let us support them to embrace the new technological tools that can help them advance in their businesses. Thank you.
Okay, Sandra.
Yeah, I will start by, I think there was someone who asked a question about how you can penetrate. I could
Yes.
just say that as a way of conclusion that it's good. I remember when I was just starting my career, I just identified someone who I admired so much and asked them, because you can see someone who is well dressed, you don't know what they've really gone through to reach where they are. So I just asked her what has she really done to be able to be where she is, because I really used to admire how she would travel all over the world and do amazing work also in Uganda. And one key thing that I picked from there is being able to have a mentor that can really guide you in your path as a career growth, and will be able to show you and have strong network as women, especially if you're looking at growing your career in law and tech. Find someone who is doing anything around law and tech. We have Yasin on the panel. Speak to her after the panel. But I want to just end and say that you cannot really fix what has been broken by tech using the law. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Zubeda?
Mine is, I would like to tell you a small story. When I was invited to speak at this panel, I told one of my mentors, Justice Chibita, by the way, I'll be speaking at the Women in Tech. I'll be speaking on the panel of Women in Tech. And he said, because I've been doing ADR, I speak about writing, he said, obtaining by false pretenses. So really, what the point he was trying to make was basically we as lawyers, we look at law as on this end and technology on that end. And yet we need to know that tech is here to help us create more impact, and we should leverage it more. Thank you.
Yasmin?
Thank you. My message would go mostly to the youth, as the youth person on the panel. And one, I like to tell people, diversify yourself. Everyone else has gone to the same university as you. They have the same qualifications as you. What makes you different? What makes you more competitive? Diversify yourself. The tech world has a lot of opportunities, especially for youth. You need to take it into your hands to look for these opportunities. They're actually there. They are there and they're abundant, and you're in the global south. These are all things you can leverage to improve yourself, to improve your career, especially as a young lawyer, as a young law student. These are things that you can use to, improve your career, to become better. And as everyone has said before, make sure you market yourself well. It does not matter if you're just attending an event. Go on LinkedIn and mention that I have attended this event, because whilst in Uganda we do not take this into consideration, when you apply to international organizations, when you apply to international companies, they actually check out your LinkedIn. One of the first things they're going to tell you is, can you attach your LinkedIn profile? This is you who doesn't have one. This is you who has one but has never posted on it, and you don't know what to do with that information. So as a youth that is in this space, my advice to you is diversify yourself. There's a lot of opportunities. Do not box yourself in. And I'd like to share, as I close off, a quote I learned yesterday. I am borrowing this, so if I say it wrongly, I apologize. It is Ebintu Tebiekola Babikola. Things don't do themselves, they get done. In short, don't wait for things to happen. Get them done yourself. So there's a lot of opportunities in tech, there's a lot of opportunities in the digital world, especially for young lawyers. So go out there and find these opportunities. Thank you.
There you have it. I think that all our panelists have thrown the challenge back to you in the audience. Technology is here with us to stay. We can either whine and complain, or we can be the impact and the change we want to see. Thank you so much, ladies, for taking your time, and thank you, our wonderful audience.
Thank you so much, our dear panelists and the ladies leading in technology. We appreciate you so much for taking these steps where other people are not actually taking them. It's great that you're the ones talking about looking out for the other women instead of you being looked out for. We appreciate your time, and at this moment, I'd like to take this opportunity to invite our most perpendicular Vice President to give you the smaller words from the Radical New Bar as a token of our appreciation of your time and your wisdom and knowledge. Thank you. After this, please, we have a lot of exhibitions down there. We invite you to take your time and learn from those exhibitors. Thank you so much.
Okay, let me do the honors. Our wonderful panelists, you are being appreciated for your time here this afternoon. Let's start from Mabel. Please come forward to receive something from our Vice President. And then you get a photo moment. Please don't forget the photo moment. Okay, thank you, Mabel. Sandra, please come up. You lawyers, you don't want to clap for the social worker. Thank you, Sandra. Okay, Zubeda. Our youngest member, Yasmin, thank you so much for taking on this daunting challenge.
And yourself?
Oh, and then me, I get to announce my...
Thank you so much. Let us move to the next. Thank you.
Yes, so there's the announcement that we had earlier. Goretti, do we all go down to the booth or there will be another panel here? Are we going down to the booth? Okay. Okay, there's an ICMIS presentation going on in the main hall, and then there are activities in the booth area.
Just a minute, the cameraman is coming. Okay. No, he's crossing. No, she can talk in the meantime. Well, I think mine actually. You can have a look. There's no girl. It was image.